does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited checking out Expedition, the role-playing card game. This is for 1 to 6 players. Take you 20 plus minutes to play, depending on what adventure you're going on. And it's for ages 10 plus. And in Expedition, the role-playing card game, this is role-playing in a box with an app. This is trying to recreate going on role-playing adventures with cards and with an app, but with also some die rolling as well. It's very light, it's very simple, and it's probably going to all depend on if the app is good or not, because everything in the box is just cards. But is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Expedition, the role-playing card game. So first and foremost, we're going to handy-dandy rule booklet. It's 2 pages, it's double-sided, it's got pictures. You're never going to use it. You're never going to use it. You're going to get this app right here, and then you are never going to use this rule sheet again, because the app does everything for you in this game. But Expedition, the role-playing card game, is a role-playing card game in which you are going to be going on role-playing adventures, either solo with up to 6 people, and you're going to be going on various different adventures, and most of it is ran through the app. But let's talk about the components. We'll get in the gameplay, and then I'll show you how the app works. So first, you're going to get cards, and more cards, because this obviously is the role-playing card game. So up top, you are going, well, let's start with these right here. So right here, you're going to have various different characters that you'll be able to do. And there's a whole variety of different characters. For the most part, they're pretty samey. They're going to start with 12 health. What's different is they're going to have different types of cards. So this guy's a music and ranged guy. Music is generally the kind of thing that buffs up other people and also heals them. Melee and magic. This guy's straight up magic. This guy's the pack rat. He's a little bit of everything. Now, once you've chosen that, you're going to get this little clip right here. You're going to get a whole bunch of these clips, because these clips are going to keep track of your health, how many uses you have on various different loot, the bad guy's health, a variety of different things. So, card-wise, there's lots of different cards in this game. So we'll start over here. We got melee, we got magic, we got range, we got music, we got my phone. Probably should be on silent for this particular view. And these are the cards that you're going to be drawing in order to customize your hero. So you'll be able to draft what you want at the beginning of the game and get your character kind of how you want them to be. You're going to use your special abilities to defeat the undead, the fae, the bandits, and the beasts. These are all the bad guys that you're going to encounter as you're going through your adventures, and they will progressively get more powerful. So as you can see, this is a higher level one than this one, so he's going to be much more powerful. The troll has 26 health, and whenever he surges, he regains 6 health, and surges are bad because there's definitely a real-time aspect to this game as well. Also, you notice on the back, there's numbers on the back, and that's because sometimes you won't have enough cards. So let's just say you spawn 2 trolls pop up in front of you. Well, there's only 1 troll card. So you would just keep track of the other troll's health on the back of this. And so this kind of acts as a secondary troll. So I do like the dual use nature of the cards in that aspect. You're going to try and defeat these bad guys. And when you do, you're going to gain loot. Oh, so delicious loot, which you'll be splitting up amongst your tribe. And the loot will do a variety of different things. Some loot will be one-time use abilities. Some of the loot will be, different multi-time use abilities. In that case, you'll be keeping track of it with the clips like so, which I know makes some people cringe. But those are the cards you're going to get in the game. Last but not least, everyone's going to have a handy-dandy little reference card, which will have all the different symbols and help you figure out what the beasts do. But the star of the show, without a doubt, is the app. So I'm going to try and get this to the perfect angle so you can see how much I'm addicted to Clash Royale. And we're going to click on the app right there. So this is Expedition. Let's see. There it goes. Nice and clean. And to begin, you're going to have everybody place their finger on this. And this is going to tell the app how many people are playing the game. So for instance, we're going to start it up and we're going to pretend like there's 3 people playing the game, and it does have multi-touch. Now, obviously, it says on the bottom there, if you don't have multi-touch, you can just type in the number 3. So they did think about people who have older smartphones as well. And this is going to be your main hub right here. So as you can see, there's 4 different adventures that you will be able to go on. Now, this one is a tutorial. Now, I know you're saying that doesn't sound that impressive, that there's only 4 tutorials. But here's the thing. You go down here to more quests, and just like that, you're going to have a whole bunch of different quests. So right now we have 24 quests for 2 players. I thought it had 3 fingers, but whatever. And then you can sort them by newest, by time length, by genre, content rating, all sorts of various different things, because this is all crowdsourced. So this is going to be part 1 of 5 of this adventure. So people are currently and actively writing adventures for you to go on. And some of these are really cool. I've done, I think, 2 or 3 of them now. I played this, I think, 6 or 7 times. So this one's 1 or 2 hours. That one up top was part 1 of 5. Various different cool stuff. And there's ones for different player counts if you're doing just solo or not. It's a very active community so far, which is great, which means you are not going to have problem finding more adventures to do. But let's start on the learning to. Oh, we'll go down to the tools right here just so you can see it. So we have a quest creator, which if you click on that, it will actively, it takes like a second to boot up, but it will actually take you to the spot where you can create a quest for other people as well, which is really stinking kind of nice. It kind of advertises, hey, you can do this. So it's great. It's great that they included that in the app. So clicking on back. Oh, I don't know why it kicked me back here. That's kind of annoying. But, boom, we're here. Let's go ahead. We'll do the learning to adventure. This is where it's going to teach you how to play the game, really. This is going to tell you everything you need to do. Select one adventure from the deck and pass the deck along, and you're going to pick, I pick the Pat Rat for this particular example. Then you're going to clip your health clip on there, keep this card, and then you're going to draw the starting abilities listed on your adventurer. And, if you're playing with a smaller player count, you're going to draft those abilities. If you're playing with the larger player count, you're going to kind of be stuck with what you have. Now, that being said, you will get more abilities as the game progresses, or you will be able to upgrade / update your abilities as the game progresses. Read through your abilities, and then you are going to get the game going. So then you're going to start on your adventure. And you're actually going to be reading this out. So whoever has the phone is going to say, so you want to go on an adventure? The Grizzly Town Guardsman asks with a smile. You, the troublemaking children of the town, nod eagerly. Alrighty then, just don't tell your parents it was me. And then the stuff in the italics is going to fill you in on various different aspects of the game. This is an instruction. You'll see those throughout quest. One player should read this card out loud, blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to start kicking you on to the adventure. And this is where it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. And I have noticed that the custom made quests kind of do the choose your own adventures a little bit more than the 4 starting quests. So you might want to start dabbling into those a little bit earlier, but I'll talk more about that in the pros and cons. But you're going to make up decisions. So for this particular instance, are we going to help clean up the guardhouse, or are we going to deal with the Fey folk? We'll clean up. So, yeah, really? I didn't see that one coming, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so now we're fighting spiders. And when you fight spiders, it will tell you how you are going to fight things, and it will take you here. So this is going to be where you're preparing to fight, and it's going to tell you that you're going to be drawing your cards. And then there's a timer, because there's a real-time aspect to this game. So you're going to have 3 cards in your hand, and the start timer is going to go like this, and you have to pick the card that you're going to play. Then you have to get your finger on this before the time runs out, because, oh no, one person's already, pick your card, pick your card, pick your card, pick your card. And then, I got my card. And then you're like, oh no. Normally, that would result in what's called a siege, which means the spiders are going to do something bad to you. A surge, I believe it is. Yeah, that's the name of it. But now this is where the dice rolling comes into play, because there's going to be lots and lots and lots of dice rolling in this game. So in this particular example, I thought we were facing a spider. So yeah, spider just happens to be on the top. So me and my son just fought a couple spiders yesterday, actually. So it says right here, they have 9 health. They're a tier 1 beast. They do +1 damage from that symbol, which we go right here. We say, oh, that's magic ability. Thank you, handy little player reference card. -2 different damage from melee, and if they surge, all magic abilities deal 2 less damage this round. And it's just that simple. So now you're going to continue to fight. And what's going to happen is you and everybody else are going to play a card. And then if it's victory, you'll hit victory. If not, then the spider will attack you and it's going to deal 1 damage. And you can mark right here like, oh, somebody died from that damage. So now it's a 1 person versus the spider. And once again, now they're only waiting for 1 finger. So as you can see, the app is currently, updating itself as you progress. So let's just say we killed the spider. What gets to happen? Pretty much the same thing for the most part. You triumphantly crush the spider. Hooray. Now, normally it gives you some good stuff, but since this is just the very basic introduction, normally it would say, all right, everybody gets to re-heal back up because, you've kind of chilled out and now you're good to go. And then it normally lets you draw some new cards and then replace one of the cards in your deck with a card that you do not like. So maybe you got a music card that is something you don't like. You can draw more music cards and then you can replace that original music card with a new music card. So you will slowly be able to upgrade your character the more bad guys you face. Now, one thing that I am really interested to check out while I got you here is, does this work? Does the app work without any Wi-Fi? Because I have not tested that, and that feels like that is a great question, because I think this could be a big pro or a big con for a lot of people. So let's go to the app right now. We are currently in airplane mode. Airplane mode. Airplane mode. Let's go to airplane mode. So clicking on it. Oh, it's loading. So we'll do 2 players. And I probably cannot click on more. Yes, so I cannot click on more quests because I am not connected to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, so, but I still can do the 4 base quest right here. So So yet another reason why you probably want to just switch over and do some of those other quests first, because then when you do not have Wi-Fi, if assuming you're playing on a tablet or something like that, then you can play with those. But that is something that you probably wanted to know. But that in a nutshell is what you're going to do inside of Expedition, the role-playing card game. Alrighty then, Expedition, the role-playing card game. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, there's no real role-playing in this role-playing game. So if you're hoping you're going to be able to, create your character and make their persona and, act out what they would do and make decisions based on your character's persona and stuff like that, it doesn't really come across as such. Now, I'm not big into role-playing, and I want to make that first a big glaring thing that I am not a role player. I have role played maybe 3-4 times excluding this game in my entire life, and I enjoyed it. It's just something that I've never really had the time to do with the board gaming hobby. So I want that caveat to be out there. And this doesn't really have that much role playing. Now, you are going to have character creation where you're going to pick a character and then you're going to be able to customize them by, I want the guy that does magic or I want the guy that does melee. And if you're playing with 1 or 2 players, you can kind of draft the abilities you want. But that's really where the character creation stops. Now, you've heard that that's one of the best parts of role-playing games. So I wanted that to be out there. Another comment of this game is that the combat is very, very repetitive. And I did not like how the combat worked in this game for the most part, especially when you're fighting those big guys. And it's just, I have 3 cards to pick from. Oh, great. None of these cards do that much damage. Oh, great. None of these cards in my hand really are that worthwhile. Now, granted, you can choose the order in which you are going to use your special abilities to make your special abilities more useful, but there are certain times where it's just like, yeah, none of these cards are really going to help me out too much right there. And I didn't like how that system worked, how you're going to have 3-year cards, randomly you're going to have 3-year cards each time, and then you're going to have to pick one of those, and it's like a timed thing. And I think some people are not going to like the timed aspect of the game. It's not a huge deal because you only have 3 cards to pick from, and most of the time it's a pretty obvious decision. But just in general, I was not a fan of how the combat in the game worked. You're going to be rolling dice a lot and very frequently. And that is going to be your mileage may vary kind of thing. I think some people are going to dig the combat in this game, the dice rolling, the fact that you're going to be dice rolling, and it does take a while to slay a beast, which thematically works. I mean, if you're trying to take down a giant troll, it should take you a good deal of time trying to fight that troll, working together. But at the same time, I was not a fan of that. I was also not a fan of how you upgrade your character. It's just like, oh, you've got these new cards, and you can get rid of one of your old cards, and you can get one of these new cards, you can draft the one you want. And that's nice because you're going to be constantly upgrading your character. But the bottom line is the way we played it, at least, and I don't know if it was how we were supposed to do it, the rules really didn't help out too much with that, is are you supposed to keep your characters intact? Are you supposed to start a new character each time? I know some of the adventures online definitely are going to be multiple story arcs where you're going to be doing that. So there's a little bit more clarity there. But for the base game, I'm not quite sure. Another comment I have in this game is that I really wish... The app is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to just schmooze all over how fantastic this app is in a couple minutes. I'm going to recommend this game in a couple minutes. But for now, I need to focus on the cons. And one of the biggest cons that I have in this game is the fact that, A, there's not a narrator in this game. That needs to be something that you can do yourself, where you can read everything and record it in there, or they will do it for you. I think that would be a huge addition to this game if someone else would read it to you, because it does kind of draw you out of the game, at least for me personally a little bit. Now, that's a me personally thing. I think a lot of people might like the fact that you read it out, because then that person is kind of like the dungeon master reading out the scenario. But I would have liked it to be an option where the app would have read it to you as well. And another thing that I really wish the app would have done is I wish you could download adventures to your phone and then access them without the Wi-Fi. And as you saw in the middle part, I checked to see if you could do this without any internet, without any Wi-Fi, and you can do the 4 main adventures, but you cannot do any of the stuff that's online. So I really wish that would have been cool if you could download and store some adventures that you plan on going on in the future there. I think that would really open up the marketplace to be like, oh, this one sounds interesting, just quick download. Oh, I really like this one. This one would be a great one to play with my kid. Quick download. And I think that is an option they need to put in the future. I think that's a really good option. Any other cons that I have with the game? I wish there was a little bit more variety in... Nah, I'm kind of fine with that, honestly. Nope, that's what I got on the con side. I went a little long on the con side because I'm going to tell you that I really do like this game, and I really enjoyed this game. I'm going to keep this game. I'm going to recommend this game, and I think a lot of people are really going to dig this game for what it does, and that is, it makes role-playing easily accessible for people who are not role-players, and that's huge. That is huge. Don't let all those cons, blind you from the fact that this had me and my class full of 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds role-playing. This game had me and my 4-year-old son working together, obviously, role-playing together. And that is huge. The fact that I am someone who has never moderated, I've never dungeon mastered, I've never done anything like that, I've never had a difficult time role-playing, and I was able to, within like 10 minutes, have a group of 8-year-olds role-playing and having their own characters and doing that. That's huge. Oh, one last con I have in the game, because I still could talk about the cons, is I don't like the clip systems. They kind of do damage to the cards. I wish the cards were a little bit thicker and sturdier, especially if they were planning on having clips on them. But continuing onward, I really like the app. The app is very well done. There's a lot of options. You can make it easier. There's like a different timer speed you can add to it to make that real-time aspect, to kind of mitigate that real-time aspect. You can make the text larger. You know, if you have an older smartphone, you don't have to have multi-touch, which is a great thing as well. It has vibrate on touch abilities in there. It's a very well-designed app right from the ground up, which is fantastic. And there is tons and tons and tons in this game. And this is what I think is going to be the biggest selling point of this game, is the fact that this game is literally replayable infinitely as long as people continue to support the game. I mean, there's already, you saw, I think 27, there's probably even more than that, stories out there that you are going to be able to play, and people are continuing to play and create more and more and more. And if you can get the crowd behind this sort of thing, this is the kind of thing that is only going to continue to grow. And there's just infinite replayability here, and I do like that as well. They're working on an expansion as well, which is going to add more cards, which is, I think, something really good. It's also going to add a new type of special cards that you will have in your hands. I think it was Influence. I haven't got a chance to play with it yet. I've just been looking at it. But really cool stuff here. So the bottom line is, I wholeheartedly recommend this game. It has its flaws. It definitely has its flaws. I don't like the combat. I think the app needs a little bit of work. I think it needs some improvement here or there. But in the end, if you are looking for a lighter, and I should say lighter, because some of these go up to 2 hours, simpler way to role play with your kids or with your family or with your friends, this is fantastic. And solo, because I always like to comment on games solo, because I am a solo gamer a lot myself. This works great solo too. Now granted, you are going to be rolling 2 characters, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I hate games with like, oh, it's a solo game, but actually you're just going to be playing with 2 characters. But it's still fun. You still go on the adventures, and the adventures are really what makes this game, going on the different adventures. And I do recommend going, doing the tutorial, and then just skipping those 3 right down there, and then just going and doing other people's brainchild creations, because then you have those 3 to use if you don't have Wi-Fi, obviously, or internet. But also at the same time, I felt like some of those adventures, some of them were really stinking cool. And they weren't just your typical fantasy tropes. They all weren't just like, oh, we're here with fays and fairies and all that kind of stuff. So really like this. Really, really like this. Really enjoy it. It's a completely different beast, which is something I love to see in the hobby. And I hope this continues to grow with more stories and more expansions and more people. Maybe a big mega box would be nice in the future. I'm hoping that they come out with a bigger box with that expansion, because right now the box is completely full as it stands. But this is the bottom line. This little box right here and your phone or your tablet is going to give you hundreds, potentially hours of entertainment in the future if you want to go down that rabbit hole. So that's all I need to say right there. Expedition, the role-playing card game, is a really fantastic ideal, and it's carried out in a great way with a great app, and I can't wait to see this grow in the future. So that is Expedition, the role-playing card game. It's not going to be for everybody. If you don't like role-playing, if you don't like cooperative games, if you don't like the combat in this game, it might not be for you. But if you do, wow, really, really dig this game. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, role-playing, yay or nay. For me personally, I'm going to say nay. I'm always going to say nay just because I like board games better. Now, if for some reason I ever got sick of board games, then I think I would love to roleplay. I mean, I love to talk, I love to create stories, and I love to create, these magical worlds with my kids when I play with them and using our imagination, so I would really enjoy roleplaying. And my limited experience that I have with roleplaying, I really do enjoy that. But for now, board games, and I still like video games better as well. But let me know in the comments below, roleplaying, yay or nay, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.